Welcome to the Future of Triple E channel. I am Siddharthan. Now we are going to start a new discussion about induction motors and drives. We are going to see from the basic principle of operation to the advanced modern control drives used in electric cars. So let's get started. Let's start with the classifications of induction motor. Induction motors are broadly classified into three-phase induction motor and single-phase induction motor. Three-phase induction motors are classified into squirrel cage induction motor and slip ring induction motor. Single-phase induction motors are classified into split phase, capacitor start, capacitor run and shaded pole induction motor. Let's take it one by one. Here we are going to see the construction and principle of operation of three-phase induction motor. That is, three-phase squirrel cage induction motor. Three-phase induction motor consists of stationary part called stator, where there will be three-phase windings such as R, R dash, Y, Y dash and B, B dash. And each windings are displaced by 120 degree. The rotating part called rotor consists of rotor conductors usually placed in rotor slots. In between stator and rotor, there will be uniformly distributed air gap. Before understanding about the principle of operation, let's understand what is known as relative motion. Let's see with an example. Consider there are two trains in the parallel track as shown here. Train 1 is moving at the speed of 100 km per hour and train 2 is stationary. If you are sitting in the moving train 1 and seeing the train 2, then for you the train 2 will be moving in the opposite direction, right? This motion is called relative motion. Now consider both train 1 and train 2 are moving at the same speed of 100 km per hour. If you are sitting in the train 1 and seeing the train 2, then for you the train 2 will be at stationary, right? So here there is no relative motion, or here the relative motion is equal to 0. Remember this, we will use the same concept in three-phase induction motor. In the principle of operation, we will see how the electrical energy is converted to mechanical energy. I feel it will be easier for anyone to understand the process and steps that will use to create mechanical energy. So here I explain the steps that will explain how the mechanical energy is created in the induction motor. Step 1. Create rotating magnetic flux RMF in the stator. This is very important step in the process. Okay, first let's see what is RMF and how to create it. If you are taking north pole and south pole of magnets, it will be attracted. In between north pole and south pole, there will be magnetic flux. If you are rotating the magnets, then rotating magnetic flux RMF is created. Instead of giving mechanical rotation, it is possible to create RMF by using three-phase electrical supply. That is, when a three-phase supply is given to a three-phase winding, and each windings are displaced by 120 degree, then the resultant will be the same rotating magnetic flux RMF. This was invented by Nikola Tesla. This is the reason for the invention of induction motor too. Okay, let's see that in schematic diagram. Here, three-phase AC supply is given to a three-phase windings R, Y and B, and also each windings are displaced by 120 degree. So this circuit will give RMF. Let's see how it is implemented in the stator of an induction motor. Here you can see three windings are formed by R, R dash, Y, Y dash and B, B dash, and also each windings are displaced by 120 degree. So if we give three-phase supply, then rotating magnetic flux RMF is created in the stator. RMF created in the stator can be considered as north pole and south pole of magnets rotating in clockwise direction. It is also possible to change the direction by interchanging any two terminals of three-phase supply. The speed of the RMF is called synchronous speed and it is represented as Ns, which is equal to 120 F divided by P, where F is equal to frequency of three-phase supply and P is equal to number of magnetic poles in the motor. You can change the speed of RMF by changing any of the two parameters. Okay, in step 2, the RMF created in the stator passes through the air gap and cuts the stationary conductor in the rotor. So there will be an induced EMF in the conductors. It's because of Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. This states that there will be an induced EMF in the conductor when there is a relative motion between the magnetic flux and the conductors. As you can see, the magnetic flux in the stator is rotating and conductors in the rotor is stationary. So there is a relative motion between them and hence the induced EMF. Please remember that it's the same as the train example we have seen before. In step 3, this induced EMF will try to oppose the very cause producing it. This is known as Lenz's law. Here the very cause of induced EMF is the relative motion between the magnetic flux and conductor, and so it will try to oppose that and make it to 0. It's easier to understand this like son will oppose the father. Because here the induced EMF is created only because of relative motion between the magnetic flux and conductors, right? Now this induced EMF will oppose the same relative motion between the magnetic flux and conductors and try to make that relative motion to zero. That's why I told this as sun will oppose the father. If the relative motion is to be zero, then rotor also has to rotate in the same direction and also at the same speed of rotating magnetic flux as we seen in the train example. This is the reason for the rotor to start rotating. But it is important to note that rotor speed n will never reach the synchronous speed ns in the induction motor. So the condition is rotor speed n will be always lesser than the synchronous speed ns. The difference between the synchronous speed ns and rotor speed n is called slip speed s into ns. Very popular question in induction motor will be what happened when ns is equal to n or slip speed is equal to 0. When that happens, there will be no relative motion. If there is no relative motion, there is no induced EMF. If there is no induced EMF, there will not be any opposition, which means there is no rotation in the rotor. So you want to keep in mind that rotor speed n will never reach the synchronous speed ns at any time in the induction motor. Now we understand that because of the induced EMF and its opposition to the relative motion between magnetic flux and conductor, the rotor will rotate in the same direction of RMF. But how do the rotor gets the force to do that? Or in other words, how the torque is created in the motor? Usually, the torque will be created when any two fluxes are interacting together. Actually, what happens means this induced EMF created in the rotor creates the current in the rotor conductor because the rotor conductors are short-circuited in squirrel cage induction motor. We know that whenever there is a current, there will be a magnetic flux around the current. So flux is created in the rotor. This rotor flux and rotating magnetic flux interacts together and creates the torque. Okay, let's consolidate what we have seen. In the first step, rotating magnetic flux is created in the stator. This is because of the resultant of three-phase supply given to a three-phase winding and each windings are displaced by 120 degree. Tesla is the man behind it. In step 2, this RMF passes through the air gap and cuts the stationary conductor in the rotor. Then induced EMF is created because of relative motion between the magnetic flux and conductors. This is known as Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. Faraday is the man behind it. This induced EMF will oppose the very cause producing it. This is because of Lenz's law. Lenz is the man behind it. So it will try to make the relative motion to zero. To make the relative motion to zero, rotor will also rotate in the same direction of rotating magnetic flux. Since the rotor will never reach the speed of RMF, there will be a slip speed S into ns, which is equal to the difference of synchronous speed and rotor speed. To rotate the rotor, motor needs the twisting force called torque. Usually it will be created by interaction of two fluxes. Actually, the induced EMF in the rotor creates the current in the rotor conductors because the rotor conductors are short-circuited in squirrel cage induction motor. This current will create the flux in the rotor. This flux and rotating magnetic flux interacts together and creates a torque, by which the rotor will get the force and rotates in the same direction of rotating magnetic flux. Okay, I believe that you understand the principle and operation of squirrel cage induction motor. In the next video, we will see the torque slip characteristics or torque speed characteristic of induction motor. Please subscribe to our channel. Thanks a lot and have a good day.